When you are young, you think you want magic, but you don't. Trust me.
But I love magic.
Bash, I'm starting the story.
Sorry, Kai, but magic is awesome. And it's a great way to get new stuff.
But when you use magic to get new stuff, something unexpected always happens.
True, but new stuff is still awesome. If it doesn't get you killed.
Yeah, I agree. About magic. Nobody is born with it. You catch it from something else that has it. It's like catching a cold. Sometimes colds are great, especially when they aren't too bad and you get to stay home from school. But sometimes colds are terrible, like when you need to miss Frankie's birthday party at Fun City. Magic is like that. Magic is sometimes good, sometimes bad. Either way, you can catch it, and it can spread. This is the story of how my brother and I caught magic. My teacher always tells me to add more details to my stories. So let's start with me. I'm Kai. I'm 7 years old. I love soccer. I was born in the mountains, but now I live in Ohio. That's probably why we could see the bones. But I'll get to that later. Bash, introduce yourself.
I'm Bash. I'm 5. I love my Blinky. I call him Bum. I love crazy hair. And I like to eat candy. And I like to play with my brother. And I like to snuggle with my mom. And I really like karate chopping things out of this world. And that's all, I think.
Our family lives by a small river in the middle of Ohio. There's a lot of magic by rivers. That's why people and animals love them. Our house is on top of a small hill that runs down to the river. If you gave yourself a really good push, like a super good push, on a sled, you can make it to the river. But then you would be in the river in the winter, and that is a terrible idea.
A terrible, horrible, terrible idea. Unless you used a wish to make the icy water warm. Or you used a wish to turn yourself into a orca.
Bash, you shouldn't use wishes for that. It's dangerous.
I know, but I would like to be a killer whale for a day.
Really? In the river? In 3 feet of water?
Yep.
Anyways, I'm just saying that we're really close to a river, and Mom takes us down there all the time to swim or explore.
Or to find cool rocks or shells.
Right, and sometimes we find bones.
Usually from a deer or a raccoon.
Usually. It was my 7th birthday. Our whole family went creeking. Mom and Dad and Bash and Saba, our dog, and I went looking for little creeks that run into the river. That's where you find the best crayfish and frogs. Once we saw a huge owl in the tree. It just sat in its branch and watched us stomp through the mud. I'm pretty sure he thought we were dumb for not flying over the mud. But I think that owl is dumb for thinking that people can fly. Anyways, we found a new creek on my birthday. It was really close to our house, but we've never seen it before. A huge tree had been hiding it. But the tree fell in the last windstorm, and there it was. A brand new creek. It was clear and wide and full of smooth rocks. Perfect. Absolutely perfect for creeking. And it was like our own private creek. It was like a special birthday present just for our family.
And you also got a bike for your birthday.
I know, Bash, but I'm focusing on the magic story.
Your bike has gears, Kai. It's super fast.
Focus, Bash. Focus.
Okay.
There's nothing on this planet better than finding a new creek. There might be deep pools.
There might be waterfalls.
There might be tunnels under the roads.
There might be fish, or froggies, or birds, or snakes, or elephants.
Bash, there aren't elephants in Ohio.
There are at the zoo.
Fine. So Mom and Dad were walking kind of slow, looking at stuff and talking about something boring. So Bash and I ran ahead. We went around a bend in the river and saw this awesome pool.
It was like a swimming pool made of boulders, right in the middle of the creek. I couldn't believe it.
It was an oval-shaped pool pool with one big rock sticking up out of the water in the center. The pool's water was dark blue, so I could tell it was pretty deep.
I saw them first.
I'm getting to that, Bash.
There were bones on the rock.
There were lots of bones on the rock. We're allowed to swim in the creek. It's fine. We wear life jackets. We can swim, so we don't really need life jackets. We wear them so Dad doesn't worry. He worries a lot.
He worries mostly about rogue waves, even though there aren't any rogue waves in Ohio. Oh, and bees. We do have bees in Ohio, but they're nice bees. Still, Dad worries about them. And tornadoes, and forest fires, and sunburns, and dehydration. He basically worries about everything.
I got to the center rock first, but I couldn't climb up onto it because the sides were all green and slimy. Bash got there, and I said we would have to go back.
Nonsense, I said. Work it up using teamwork.
Bash had a good idea for getting on the rock. For a 5-year-old, he has a lot of good ideas. So I took a deep breath, went underwater, swam under Bash, and then boosted him up. He got up high enough that he found a handhold and pulled himself up onto the rock. Once he got up, he lowered his leg for me to climb up. We turned to look at the bones.
The whole skeleton was there. It kind of looked like a little person.
A really little person, but not like a baby, like a skinny, shrunken adult. It was maybe 1 foot tall, and it had a pointy head.
And it had wings.
Well, it had wing bones, so we weren't sure if it was a little person or a big bird. We thought Mom would know.
Mom knows things. She's smart and pretty and snuggly.
We both reached down and picked up a bone at the same time.
It was hot.
It actually burned our hands, so we dropped them.
Then they started to smoke.
Then they caught on fire.
And then the fire went out, like really fast. It was the shortest fire I ever saw.
And when the fire stopped, the bones kind of just fell apart. They crumpled into ashes.
I think I may be allergic to ashes because I sneezed.
Yeah, he sneezed into the ashes and blew them into the air. That's when I breathed them in.
Me too. I breathed in lots. That made me sneeze again.
When Bash sneezed the second time, we saw the scroll. Now, when you see a scroll lying underneath a pile of bone ash, you should probably read it. It's probably important.
This scroll was very important. It gave us the rules.
Here's what the scroll said. Beware! Do not touch a bone.
It would have been nice if they warned us before we touched the bones. Who puts the warning underneath the dangerous thing they're warning you about?
I totally agree, Bash. It was a design flaw. There was more on the scroll. Beware! Do not touch a bone. Magic within will flow from the fire into ash, then up into your nose. Then with magic you will glow. So, make 1 wish every day, but when you do, you'll have to play. Magic always finds a way to turn your games into a fray.
Fray means a battle or fight.
I know, Bash. Magic always finds a way to turn your games into a fray. And you must wish every day, because if you don't, you will pay. So, in summary, it's telling us that we get to make 1 wish every day.
And it's telling us that we must make a wish every day, or something bad will happen.
I know what you're thinking. There is no such thing as magic, and wishes do not come true. That's just in stories, right? Well, that's what I told Bash. And Bash, of course, said, let's try it.
So we tried to think of a really awesome wish.
But we couldn't agree on anything.
I wanted to wish for money.
I wanted to wish for more wishes.
I wanted to wish for superpowers and new shoes and 20 new pants.
And all this talking was making me super hungry. So I said, totally by accident, I wish we had some donuts.
There was a clap of thunder and a flash of green lightning. And then, right in front of us, was a huge box of donuts. It was as big as a boat. There must have been 10,000 donuts in the box. It was the most donuts that I've ever seen. They looked perfect. They had chocolate ones, sprinkles, cream-filled, twisty ones, fluffy ones, ones that looked like snowman, and even ones that looked like orcas. They were perfect and plentiful.
So, yeah, donuts. We used a magic wish for donuts. At first, I felt bad for wasting the wish. But then, looking at the donuts, it actually seemed like a pretty good wish after all. In fact, the whole wish thing seemed like a pretty sweet deal. We say, I wish for something, and then that something just appears. Magic.
And then we heard it.
Yeah, it sounded kind of like a helicopter, and an electric guitar, and explosions.
And it was getting louder.
So when you hear a really loud, freakish noise coming from above you, you naturally look up. And when we naturally looked up, we saw an unnatural,
huge, enormous,
gigundous flying creature diving straight towards us.
There was fire, lots of fire.
Fire coming out of his mouth.
It was a dragon. A fire-breathing dragon.
There was a real fire-breathing dragon coming right at us with big teeth and mean eyes and bad breath and fire. I took Bash's hand and yanked him into the water right before the fire engulfed the rock and scorched the scroll. The scroll was gone. I really hope it wasn't printed duplex because we never checked the back of the page. We came up for air just as the dragon landed with a slump onto the rock. Bash looked right at me and smiled a huge smile, which totally confused me.
I remembered the new word. I love new words. This was my first play, and it was with a dragon.
The dragon wasn't moving. He was just looking down at something. And then we realized what he was looking at.
The donuts.
Our donuts. Our boat-sized box of donuts was floating just beside the rock. The dragon lowered his massive head on his 50-foot neck and took a huge bite out of the donuts. He probably ate 1,000 donuts with a single bite. Bash screamed, but not what you would think. He didn't scream, "Ah!" out of fear. He screamed, "A donut!" The dragon whipped his head around at us and then burst out a huge ball of flame. This time, Bash dragged me under the water. We both started swimming to a new location. I went towards the shore. Bash went for the donuts. I was pretty sure that Bashy was going to get eaten, so I ran along the shore, waving my arms and screaming, "Hey, dragon! You smell like feet!" Well, he didn't like that one bit, so he sent another huge fireball right at me. I, of course, dodged, and the fireball hit the big boulder at the base of the pool, which was forming a dam for the lower part of the creek. Well, the dam exploded, and all the water started rushing out towards the river. I saw the donut boat surging downstream in a rush of water. Then I saw Bash on the donut boat. He was eating a cream-filled, chocolate-glazed donut. As the boat passed me, I dove aboard.
Then I gave Kai a maple frosted twist donut with sprinkles.
It was the best donut. I ever had. I was about to eat another when a fireball flew past my head. The dragon was in the air, and it was chasing us. Our donut boat was pretty fast. It's the fastest donut boat I've ever seen, but it wasn't fast enough. The dragon was catching up.
So I said to Kai, "Throw him a donut!"
And I screamed to Bash, "What kind?"
So I screamed back to Kai, "Strawberry glazed. That's always a safe bet."
So I chucked the glazed donut back at the fire-breathing dragon and hit him in the eyeball. That made him even more mad. "That didn't work," I yelled at Bash.
"It sure didn't," I yelled at Kai. Then I said, "Maybe we should try reasoning with it. We can explain that the donuts are ours, and we do not want to share with any dragons. Maybe he'll be cool with that."
Just as I was about to open a dialogue with the dragon, he swooped down and picked up the entire donut boat, with us inside it, in his massive claws. He quickly rose 1,000 feet into the air.
We were 1,000 feet in the air. I could see all the way to my school.
And I could see Mom and Dad. They were still looking at stuff and probably still talking about boring things. They did not see us, or the giant dragon, or the boatload of donuts.
That's when I had another idea. So I yelled to Kai, "I have an idea."
Bash usually does have great ideas, so I listened.
"Pick up your favorite 6 donuts," I screamed.
I did as Bash said, because I knew he had something planned.
"Great job, Kai," I screamed. Then I said, "Now jump."
I started to scream, "What?" But before I could finish, Bash dove straight into me and pushed both of us off the donut boat. As we fell, we watched the dragon disappear with our beautiful boatload of donuts. And if that wasn't bad enough, we were falling 1,000 feet to our death.
But we didn't die, Kai.
I know.
Because my plan worked perfectly.
So I was screaming like a maniac, plummeting to earth. I looked over at Bash, and he was just calmly eating one of his donuts. He even smiled at me. He's crazy, I thought to myself. He's absolutely crazy. Then Bash said something, but I couldn't hear him because I was still screaming my brains out. The ground was racing up to us. We had maybe 4 seconds before we splatted. 3 seconds until impact. 2 seconds until death. 1. I closed my eyes. And 0. I didn't feel anything. It certainly didn't feel like I just splatted to death. It felt kinda nice. Kinda like bubbles. I opened my eyes. Bash was smiling at me. He had chocolate all over his face. He and I were floating gently down to earth on 1,000,001 bubbles.
I still had my wish.
Yes, I had forgotten about the wish thing.
And we still had some donuts.
Yes, we still had a few donuts. I had 6, Bash was down to 4, and he was shoving another into his mouth.
They were really good donuts.
Yes, Bash, they were magical. So that's the story about how we got magic. It's been almost 1 year since we found the bones. Every day we make 1 wish each. We found out that the smaller the wish, the smaller the problem that comes with the wish.
We usually wish for a candy bar. The worst that happens with that is you get bad gas. Or maybe go partially blind for a few minutes. Mini magic. It's fine.
One time we wished for a sunny day so that we could go to the zoo. It was the hottest day on record. Also, we were attacked by a lava monster. These things happen. We've gone back to the creek and looked for more bones, but now it just looks like a normal creek. No pool, no bones, no magical scroll. It's pretty, and there's still some magic there, but it's mostly normal.
I wonder where the bones came from.
We'll probably never know, Bash.
Well,
no, Bash. Don't even think about it.
I wish
Stop right now.
I wish we knew where those bones came from.